Today on ReEngaged with George and Cheri.
About it now, I'm thinking about the way in which, it was really three separate occasions that we were apart, or that, you were reintroduced, we were introduced to one another. And think about the hand of God and the providence of God and how God,
move situations,
ordered our steps. To move to different cities, we go to the same institutions right next to each other. For God to speak to you on the way to one church, and then you turn and go to the church. All God's hand was in it, and God has blessed us, and we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that God called us
to be together.
I think that's really important. Right. God called us to be together, and He has blessed our.
Yeah. Busy and where the last one burned you. Know that ain't cool. Wanna show you how I'm nothing like him. Swear that's the truth. You can't trust that I'll always stand the rain. Tell me what you need to see. I ain't running away. 'Cause I'm right here with you like I need to be. I'm right here. I ain't ever gonna leave. I know you hurt, but I'm not the same song. Different start with me. That's where you belong, girl. I got that brand new.
Welcome to ReEngaged with George and Cheri.
Bless you, my friends. Welcome to ReEngaged with George and Cheri. We're so excited to have you log into our initial broadcast, our very first broadcast of ReEngaged with George and Cheri. It's been a long time coming.
It has. At least 5 years.
At least 5 years.
At least 5 years.
A 5-year journey, but we are here, and we're so excited to bring you this broadcast every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on the Roku channel, the Elam Roku channel, the Elam Network, also on Facebook Live at Elam Baptist Church, and at our YouTube channel at Elam Augusta. We're coming to you from the sanctuary of the Elam Baptist Church, 2359 Mount Auburn Street in Augusta, Georgia, 30904. You can also learn more about Elam Baptist Church at www.getreplenished.org. God has blessed us in a tremendous way.
That's right.
To bring this broadcast to you. And the purpose of this broadcast is to talk about what?
Marriage, ministry, family, all that. Everything working together in harmony.
Yeah, marriage, family, ministry, and a whole lot of other great things we're going to talk about down through the weeks and the months and the years that we're going to bring this broadcast to you. Well, I think the best way to talk about and begin this broadcast is to tell you a little bit about us, about who George and Cheri are, the story of us. This is us, George and Cheri, and to tell you a little bit about us and how we got to this point. It's been a long journey. We've been married now.
Almost 13 years.
Almost 13 years, and been together about 15. So we're not experts. No. We have never, ever proclaimed and professed ourselves to be experts. The only experts are those who have
fulfilled the vow.
Fulfilled the marriage vow, which means,
in our opinion,
those who have fulfilled the marriage vow, which means that there's somebody not here because the vow says to love, honor, and cherish until death
do you part.
That means the only experts are those who have fulfilled the vow, and that means that there's somebody who's not here anymore. Somebody's dead.
I'm all right.
I'm okay not being an expert.
Still working on fulfilling the vow.
Yeah, let's keep learning. Yeah, let's keep learning. I don't want to be an expert just
not right now.
yet. We met somewhere around 1991, 1992.
Back in Washington, D.C.
Back in Washington, D.C. at the Metropolitan Baptist Church, Washington, D.C., where the pastor at the time was the Reverend Dr. H. Beecher Hicks, Jr. God blessed us. I grew up in that church. I was born and raised in that church. And somewhere around 91, 92, walked in the prettiest thing I had ever seen. I still remember it all those years ago. Cheri Alexander at the time, her and her mother joined the Metropolitan Baptist Church. And you know what it's like when the new girl either joins the church or comes to school everybody's trying to figure out who she is.
And I got involved very quickly.
Yeah, you jumped right in.
I jumped right in and got involved.
And so everybody's trying to figure out who she was, and all the guys were trying to get her phone number and make her their girlfriend. And my game wasn't that strong. My game was not that strong back in 91, 92, but what 12-year-old, 13-year-old's game is strong. But I did work up the courage after a long period of time of finally asking Cheri for her phone number, and she gave it to me.
And it was the right number.
Glory be to God, right? She didn't give me the fake number. She gave me the real number. And one Sunday night, I never forget it, we talked on the telephone. I called her. That was back in the day. That was before cell phones.
We couldn't text.
Couldn't text. That was before Periscope and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. That's back when you had the phone with the long cord.
That stretched from room to room.
That's right. You couldn't. And so you had to sit there on the phone, and we talked, seemed like all night on the telephone, and it was a blessing. But unfortunately, a few weeks later, my parents decided to move back to their hometown of Atlanta, Georgia. And Cheri and I lost contact for 5-6 years, seems like. And then God blessed us. She decided, was called to go to Clark Atlanta University, and God sent me to Morehouse College, and they're both part of the AU Center.
Which is the Atlanta University Center.
Atlanta University Center, so you got Morehouse and Spelman, Clark Atlanta, Morris Brown at the time, ITC, which is the Interdenominational Theological Center, of which I'm finishing my doctorate, and you are working on your...
Starting my Master's of Divinity.
Master of Divinity, and then you have Morehouse School of Medicine. All of those are right there together. And there's a place where they
all meet together.
They sort of merge, come together. It's called the Promenade, where all the students kind of hang out from the different schools. And one day, I was sightseeing down on the Promenade, and as I was surveying the sights, I saw once again the prettiest thing I'd ever seen. And man, that was Cheri. I had learned that she had decided to go to Clark Atlanta, and we reconnected. She joined my mother's church in Atlanta.
I was a pageant girl at the time, so I wasn't there much. I was back and forth that first year.
Right.
I just left Miss Teen USA.
Miss Teen USA, Miss Teen DC.
Right.
But we played a cat and mouse game for a number of years. Then you had to leave school.
Then I left school. I had to leave school after my sophomore year.
Yeah.
I had to leave school, and I went back to Washington, D.C. I ran out of money, which happens
a lot.
And I went back to DC, and I worked to make sure I made the money to pay my back tuition. And I got back in school in 2002, I want to say. So I got back in school in 2002, and then that following year, I ran for Miss Clark Atlanta University. So I was elected Miss Clark Atlanta University, and I was able to have free tuition, room, and board for the year that I was Miss Clark Atlanta, which was 2003, 2004.
Right.
And one day, my mother was visiting. It was in June. It was after I had won. I had just
2003.
2003, right. June 2003. I had just been elected, and my mother came to visit, and I was heading to another church. And the Spirit spoke to me. God spoke to me, and He said, "Go to Messiah's temple." Now, I didn't know why. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if George was there. I didn't know if he was still around, because we hadn't seen each other in years.
Right.
So, but God told me to go there. And when I went there, I saw him. He was sitting in the pulpit. And here again, I thought he had prayed or done the welcome or something. I had no idea.
No, the Lord had called me.
I had no idea.
I wasn't just on the program. The Lord had called me.
I thought it was on program.
The Lord had an anointing.
Maybe he did the scripture.
No, he had an anointing on my life. He had an anointing on my life.
I had no idea.
And he called me.
And I still didn't know. I didn't know that, because I didn't know that whole service.
Yeah, I mean, over the years, I graduated from Morehouse with a bachelor's in business, and had gotten called. Went through my dark period. Thank God.
You were actually in seminary.
Yeah. It was my dark period. Thank God, God had delivered me from my dark period, and I was in seminary. I confessed my call. Was active in ministry. Had gone to seminary. Was entering my second year of seminary, actually, at Emory University. And she walked into the church that Sunday, and again, as was the first time and the second time I saw her, the third time I saw her after all those years, it was always about Cheri for me, always about her. And so, and my game was stronger now. I'm about 23
The
years old.
Lord was on his side
Yes,
now.
I'm about 24 years old, and my game was stronger, a lot stronger. I had a lot of experience.
Of course, was strong.
I had a lot of experience. So my game was stronger. So I asked for her phone number that Sunday, and then I called her on, because I didn't want to be lame. So I didn't want to call her like Sunday night
Right.
on Monday. You got to, let some time pass before you call. And so I called her on Thursday.
Which was in the midst of orientation.
That's right.
I was in the middle of orientation, freshmen coming in, and as Miss Clark Atlanta, I had to be at the freshman functions.
Right. So I
Which
called.
was different.
I called her, and on Thursday we went out on Friday, and we've been together
Ever since.
ever since.
Now, I don't know, when he called me, I don't know if I'm sure I've told you before, I actually had to leave outside our student center, and I was sitting on the steps at the top of our student center, right on the promenade,
Right.
inside Clark Atlanta University. So I'm sitting on the steps talking to him on the phone, while all the freshmen are.
Wow. I mean, but think about that. Think about
It's amazing.
I mean, even if we're talking about it now, I'm thinking about the way in which, it was really 3 separate occasions that we were apart, or that, you were reintroduced, we were introduced to one another. And think about the hand of God and the providence of God, and how God,
Just move situations.
ordered our steps. To move to different cities, but go to the same institutions right next to each other. For God to speak to you on the way to one church,
He did.
and then you turn and go to the church. All God's hand was in it, and God has blessed us, and we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that God called us
To be together.
I think that's really important. Right. God called us to be together, and He has blessed our union. We have 4 boys.
That's right.
George Carroll Miller the fourth.
4.
I wasn't stopping it. he can stop it, but I'm not.
I
not
don't
stopping.
think he said he's not either.
Yeah, I wasn't stopping it. George Carroll Miller the fourth, who is 10, going on 11. He's the big brother. He's my right-hand man. We have Charles Preston Miller, our 9-year-old little boy. Interesting thing about Champ, Charles Preston, we call him Champ, is at the age of 3, he was diagnosed on the autism spectrum.
That's right.
So high-functioning autism, but autism nonetheless. And nonverbal. So he's doing some stuff, but he's getting better every day.
He is.
And
he's a testimony.
but that creates a whole lot of other dynamics, right?
With marriage and ministry and
We'll talk about that. We'll probably have a whole show or two
or lesson devoted to it.
Dedicated to that. Our third born is Robert James. We call him Rocky. He is Mr. Personality.
He is.
And Rocky is something else. But we love him. That's my baby. Mm-hmm. And then our baby boy, our last born, our fourth born, Carter Ashton, we call Tuffy. He's rounding out the 4 horsemen. He is.
He's the only one that was actually, you were currently fully pastoring.
He was born into all of this.
He was born into this
all
world.
of this. And so he is unique. He is the boss. So God has blessed us with 4 wonderful, wonderful children.
Yes.
It's been a wonderful journey. But can I say to you, it has not always been mountaintop moments.
Right.
We've had some valley experiences, from miscarriage
to financial struggles. Family issues.
All kinds of stuff down through the years. But God has given us great wisdom, I think, even at a young age.
I think so.
He's given us great wisdom, and we want to impart that wisdom to you. I mean, we never thought we'd be here. God has blessed our family. He's blessed our marriage. He's blessed our ministry. Yes. God is opening doors, and we're able to minister in many different places, not only across our city, but across the state, and even across the country. Those doors are opening up for us. And we never thought we'd be here, but here we are, and we hope to share some of that wisdom with you.
Right.
So again, thank you for tuning in to the ReEngaged broadcast with George and Cheri. Amen. We hope that you are blessed by it. Those just logging in, tuning in, please share this with your family and your friends. We're going to be talking about a number of topics. The first topic we're going to talk about that we think is sort of the secret sauce of our marriage and our relationship. The first topic we believe is walking in agreement.
Right. That's right.
That is agreement that allows us the success we've seen in marriage. We don't have time in this broadcast to go through all of it, but we want to sort of give you an appetizer for next week, because we believe here again that what has made our marriage successful, what has brought harmony not only to our marriage and our family and our ministry, is this idea of agreement. Here's our thesis, that agreement is key to a successful marriage.
That's right. It is.
It's key to a successful marriage. Webster defines agreement as the act of being in harmony regarding a matter or opinion. The act of being in harmony. It's a wonderful word, harmony. We're not fans of the word balance. Because balance means you got something on a scale, right?
And it has, each one has to be a percentage, has to be about 50%.
Right.
And in marriage, you can't give 50% to your marriage. You can't give 50% to your ministry.
Hear what they say. They say marriage is 50-50. That's what some of the old people used to say. Marriage is 50-50. And we both know that if I'm giving 50% and you give 50%, then we got a train wreck of a marriage.
Right. Go. And then the question is, where's the other 50%? Where's the other 50%?
Right.
Like, where's my other 50%?
Where's it going?
You know, and it's like, I understand because they're saying 50% equals 100%. But you have to give all of you in every situation.
Right.
Like, if your child is sick, they don't say, Mommy, give me half of you.
Right.
They want your whole attention.
So we don't like balance. We like the term harmony. All things work together for the good to them that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. Right. So we believe agreement is essential, being in harmony on a thing. We believe it's essential because if you understand marriage in its purest essence is a team.
It is.
The purest essence is a team. And the most successful teams out there are those that learn how to be on the same page regarding a goal. The best teams out there, the members of the team are in agreement. This is the goal.
Right, and it's never about one person.
Right, and those situations where it is about that one person,
the team
doesn't do well.
Right.
Doesn't do well. We were watching basketball last night.
We were.
I was watching basketball. You were just
I was in and out.
Sitting there. And Golden State Warriors, I'm not a Golden State Warriors fan, but one thing I do respect about them is that they are a tremendous team. They have talented players, absolutely, but they are a tremendous, tremendous team. So marriage, understand, at its purest essence, is a team. A good team is a blend of experience and communication and unity. Unity, agreement. That's a great, great, great team. And so one of the things we got to learn how to do is learn how to get past those things.
Well, and I think you brought up a good point, is that a team has a lot of good members, and that's what a marriage is.
Right.
I bring something to the marriage. My husband brings something to the marriage. Everything that makes me, I bring to the marriage. Everything that makes him, he brings to marriage. Great members.
Right.
But it's still one team.
One team.
And we have to bring everything that is good within each of us to make this team work.
Because marriage is typically sour for typically one reason. One individual or both individuals on the team is focusing on themselves.
Right.
You cannot, in a marriage, you cannot focus on yourself more than you're focusing on the actual team.
Right.
So it's for us, again, you're going to hear this for the next few weeks, it's been about this notion, this idea of agreement. And I hear somebody always saying, well, okay, Millers, you trying to tell us in 15 years you all have never disagreed?
No, that's not what we're saying.
Didn't say that. We have had disagreements. We've had disagreements, but again, for us, what was important was, okay, now we're going to quickly get past this place of disagreement and come to a place of agreement. You know, one of the foundational scriptures, because somebody's saying, well, y'all didn't give us no Bible yet.
Right.
Well, one of the foundational scriptures for our marriage has been Amos chapter 3, verse 3. This is how can two walk together unless they be in agreement. Now, someone's going to say, well, give us the context. I don't have time to give you the context today. Trust and believe. We've been through school. We know all about the context and all that kind of stuff. For me, it's the sentiment or the imagery that's important. That in order for you to go somewhere, there has to be some agreements. There has to be a series of agreements. Number one, you got to agree on where we are.
Right. Your Genesis.
Yeah, your Genesis moment. Where are we? Where do we start?
Where are we right now? And be honest with yourself and with each other.
Where do we come from? Right now, here we are. This is the age we are. We ain't got no money.
Right. This is my background. I have these issues. This is what I'm bringing to the table.
This is my credit score.
Right.
This is where we are. This
Right
is
now.
our beginning point.
Not what you fantasize where you are, where you act. You know, and in this broadcast, we're going to talk about practical, spiritual, everything. So where you are realistically.
As a couple, where are you?
Right now.
And then you gotta agree on that.
Right.
Both of us have to be on the same page about where we are.
Right.
Then we gotta talk about where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
What's the destination? Somebody might call it the vision for our
your
marriage. We had a
Because
vision.
your marriage should have a vision.
We had a vision, right? When we had a vision
Right.
for our marriage. And you know what's crazy now? Here we are 13 years later, 15 years together.
To see.
We are now walking in
We're starting to
our
walk.
vision. We live in the home we want to live in. We got the children that we want. Our ministry is thriving. Our marriage is strong. We're doing the things that we saw at the very beginning. You have to have a vision for your marriage, a vision, a destination. You have to agree on where you begin. You have to agree on where you're going. And then there must be this ongoing agreement to walk together. The re-engagement. The re-engagement. There has to be a continuous process of re-engagement and agreement to walk together toward that which the Lord has for our marriage.
And that takes communication.
That takes communication. That takes all kinds of things.
Right.
And we're going to talk a lot about that over the next few weeks. We're going to deal with each one of those to some degree over the next few weeks. And we're so excited about what God has done and what God is doing in our marriage. And we hope that you are blessed by some of what we've said today. And if you've been blessed by this little appetizer, then we want you to tune in next week and hear more as we talk about this idea of agreement. Because where there's agreement, man, there's nothing God can't do.
That's right. And now listen, we don't want to just sit up here and talk, and maybe there's something on your heart that you need to talk about. If you want to talk about something, email us, info@reengaged.tv. Send us an email about some topics you want to discuss, some issues that you may have. We will keep it
real.
Keep it real.
Keep it real.
We won't say who it is. We won't say who it's from. But you can email us and we'll discuss it.
Give it to them again.
info@reengaged.tv.
Right.
Or you can give us a call at 706-738-1294.
Our website, the church website
is getreplenished.org.
Yep.
So you can
find out
reach
more
us there.
about Elam Baptist Church, getreplenished.org. Don't forget to tune in to the ReEngaged broadcast each Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. on the Elam Network on Roku, on our Facebook page at Elam Baptist Church, also on our YouTube channel at Elam Augusta. We again are so excited. We thank God for you logging in and tuning in. We pray it's been a blessing in your life. This is ReEngaged with George and Cheri, and we will see you again next week. God bless you in Jesus' name.
God bless.
Thank you for watching ReEngaged with George and Cheri Miller. To book George or Cheri for your event or worship service, simply call 706-738-1294 or email them at info@reengagedmarriage.com.